You want me to put that on my Tudor?
This one's wife. Harry's fallouts. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. What's all this then, you might be asking? Harry's fallouts. Are these occasions when little Harry has popped out of his side vent shorts, perhaps? When a leg has been lifted, giving the world a rather unwelcome glimpse at Harry's mushroom tip? No, you'll be pleased to know it's not that. Is it perhaps his propensity to roll out of bed and fall out of it, slamming onto the floor with a loud thud and waking the household? No, it's not that either. It's much simpler. It's Harry's fallouts with other people. There have been numerous of them, and they've been scooped up and cuddled together by Joseph Wilkes and Lauren Welch, because apparently it's a two-person job. As they explained to us, Prince Harry has allegedly had a falling out with at least 5 individuals who were once integral parts of his life before he met this one's wife in 2016. Okay. The clear inference is that he's fallen out with these people following the involvement of this one's wife. This is not a surprise. When the narcissist enters somebody's life, and this typically occurs where it's an intimate relationship, the narcissist does 2 things, or achieves 2 things, which cause problems with the victim's relationships with other people, pre-existing relationships. Commonly, this is other family members and friends. First of all, the narcissist wants to monopolize the time of that victim because it means they are easier to control. By spending more time with the victim, that means the narcissist gets more fuel, that all-important lifeblood, and of course enables them to access the character traits and digital benefits. The whole point of that person being intimate partner primary source is that the narcissist has a high level of utilization in respect of that person. This monopolization of time then means that the victim's relationships deteriorate with other people because they simply don't have the time to spend with them any longer, because their attention and time has been diverted onto the narcissist. Thus, Harry's weekly attendance at a Mensa club Harry's weekly attendance at the Crayola Club suddenly falls by the wayside as a consequence of the fact that this one's wife makes eyes at him, stands there seductively sucking a golf ball through 40 feet of hosepipe, so Harry thinks, I think I'll give the waxy group a miss this week and stay with her. Apparently she'll let me do anything. And thus, through the application of a benign manipulation, this one's wife ensures that Harry's time belongs to her. Thus, he's easier to control, and she slurps up all that delicious fuel. Rather than go and see Ma and Pa, the victim stays with the narcissist. Oh, do you have to go and see them? I was hoping we'd be able to watch some HG Tudor videos together, cries the unaware narcissist, thinking that they are learning about narcissism in relation to other people. The manipulated victim says, you know what? I love nothing more than listening to the chocolatey velvety tones of the glorious narrator whilst I sit beside you. I know, I'll bring a delicious bottle of wine also. Huzzah, shouts the unaware narcissist, for they have now asserted control over that hapless victim. Similarly, this one's wife would persuade Harry to stay in and roast a chicken rather than going to see William. Do you really need to go and see Stinky Trousers and Wank Mouth? Why don't you hang out here with me? And thus, because of this monopolization of time, Harry's relationships with family and friends become eroded. Furthermore, because their invitations are either not responded to or he turns them down, they stop asking, they stop bothering. The other aspect of this is that the narcissist will invariably see certain members of friendship groups and family as a threat to control. This might be, a la Prince William, that they sense that something isn't quite right, and therefore their influence on that primary victim is seen as problematic to the narcissist because they're going to get in the way. They could be persuading that victim, do you really want to see this person? I'm not so sure this person's good for you. You need to slow things down. And thus, they will smear that person to that primary victim, increase their efforts to maintain their hold on the primary victim. The consequence of this is that the primary victim starts to think, oh, I thought old Chumbawamba there was a good pal. Seems he's not. He's been hitting on my missus behind my back, smearing with the telling of a lie. He therefore fractures his friendship with Chumbawamba. In the circumstances, this twin-pronged approach of the narcissist to monopolize the time of the intimate partner primary source, whilst, in some instances, looking to damage the relationship because the other person is seen as a threat to the control of the intimate partner primary source, results in not only the intimate partner primary source becoming increasingly isolated and thus more reliant upon the narcissist, which is a downward spiral. The more they spend time with them, the more they rely on them, the less outside interests they've had, so thus they become all the more reliant on the narcissist. It also means that the narcissist is getting the prime aims whilst damaging those relationships. Accordingly, it is common that when the narcissist comes along, the victim, usually the intimate partner primary source, sees that certain relationships founder, become difficult, may even fall apart, never to be resurrected. In this article, it explores 5 close relationships that Harry seems to have lost since tying the knot with this one's wife. Unsurprisingly, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are identified as a relationship which has been damaged in this fashion. Despite being previously labelled as the Fab Four alongside the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, it appears that the Duke of Sussex is no longer on speaking terms with his brother. Reports also suggest that Harry hasn't spoken to his sister-in-law, whom he once referred to as the sister he'd never had. Royal expert Phil Dampier explained they're as far apart as ever, and William's priority is to look after Kate as she recovers and to step up his royal duties to cover for the king. The fact is that in relation to this, the once strong relationship that the Prince and Princess of Wales enjoyed with Harry, brother, and one of brother and sister-in-law, has been damaged by the appearance of this one's wife. Beforehand, it was a strong relationship. She comes along and look what has happened. The next individuals identified are Victoria and David Beckham. They were once close friends. In 2018, Harry allegedly accused the Beckhams of leaking stories, which were said to have left David Beckham furious. David Beckham was also snubbed by Harry after flying from London to Sydney at the Royals' request to attend the 2018 Invictus Games. Harry is, of course, particularly susceptible to doing this because of his own strong narcissistic traits, but do understand it's not just individuals like Harry with strong narcissistic traits who behave this way. There are plenty of individuals who are identified as kind and considerate people who essentially have their minds poisoned and their heads turned by the influence of the narcissist. In some instances, it's quite extraordinary to see the way that a hitherto strong and thriving relationship founders as a consequence of the involvement of the narcissist. Two people who would be seemingly locked together in a long-term, mutually beneficial relationship, has it fall apart because of the influence and behaviour of the narcissist. The fifth individual is Dominic West. Apparently, Prince Harry has severed ties with his former actor buddy, Dominic West, after Dominic recounted an incident where they allegedly drank champagne from a prosthetic leg. Harry is said to have been furious. He hasn't heard from the prince since he spilled the beans back in 2014. A friend of West mentioned in 2022 he accused Dominic of invading his privacy. Dominic told him not to be ridiculous, and they haven't spoken since. Now, there are plenty of other individuals that Harry's fallen out with, of course, as a consequence of the influence of this one's wife, and those are just 5 examples, but it provided me with an opportunity to explain to you why this happens, how the emotional thinking of the victim causes them to see problems that aren't necessarily there, and how the narcissist as ever seeks to control by dividing and conquering. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.